Ooh, that was satisfying. We're starting early because we've got a topic for a video that I'm a little terrified of. So let's just dive right in, shall we? Sup nerds, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie if you're new here. I hope your day is going well. And today we're gonna have an interesting video topic. We're gonna talk about booktok books, most specifically Kindle Unlimited romances, because I noticed a trend and I had been hearing through the grapevine, and the grapevine being my friends Rachel and Kat, about booktok books, or these Kindle Unlimited books that had been banned. Now, I'd heard about some books that had been taken off the Kindle app because they were a little too scandalous, most specifically The Dare by Harley LaRue. I found this copy at my local Barnes & Noble. They still stock this, and I do think this book actually isn't banned anymore. I checked, it's available on Kindle. So, interestingly enough, Kindle can change their mind. And this was the first one that I read that I thought was not as bad as people made it out to be. This is a smutty little novel, and there's clowns in it, but there wasn't as much clownery as I expected. Okay. So I read The Dare. I thought it was whatever. I didn't really have an opinion on it. And then I started talking to Kat and Rachel about a couple other books that they told me had also been banned. And I was like, ooh, video ideas coming to mind. I have some thought processes going here. So they were talking about The Wild by Kay Webster, as well as Double Edge by Nyla Kay. Now, I don't know very much about Kay Webster. I don't know if they are specifically on TikTok or not, but Nyla Kay apparently definitely is. I thought that I would go ahead and read some of these books for you guys and we can discuss my thoughts. Except the problem with that is I couldn't finish any of them except for The Dare. So I did find an e-copy of The Wild online, and I got about halfway through it. It is about some gross stuff. I should probably do a trigger warning here. If you have any problems with salaciously disturbing topics being romanticized, please don't watch this video. Please don't demonetize me. I will be talking about some stuff, and I hope that it won't cause any red flags. We're not going to be going into too much detail because, as I said, I couldn't finish any of these books. So I couldn't finish any of these books because I don't feel like forcing myself through absolute terrible shit for a sake of a video, when it isn't like one book. If it's multiple books, I cannot do that. I already read Den of Vipers and things like that. Those books were fun. These books are not fun, and most of them deal with incest. And I don't get it. I do not get it. So I started with The Wild. I got an e-copy online and I got about halfway through. And this follows the story of a father and daughter who are moving into the woods. The mom dies in a horrific accident while they're trying to get up there. And then as the father and daughter live off the grid in the woods, they start a schmexual relationship. And I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I know that we, as, people, there are lots of things, and I'm not here to kink shame or anything like that, but there seems to be a connotation that we don't kink shame, we don't give people shit for their guilty pleasures, but maybe some people should have a little guilt and maybe a little shame, because this is a lot, especially considering the fact that in this book the dad gets attacked by a bear and he survives and then starts having sex with his young daughter. No. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. If you like that, that's fine. But I am surprisingly uncomfortable with that. I'm not to say surprisingly, but I just feel like I saw a lot of people on BookTube that I actually watch who have read this book that rated it and were just like, it's fine. And I'm like, we're cool with it? What? That was like the tame one. The one that I could not even get through the first chapter of was Double Edge by Nyla K. Now, I did find this online, and it's like 600 pages, and your girl don't have time for that right now. I do not have time to read 600 pages of a romance between twin boys, teenage boys, and their stepfather. I do not have time for that, especially considering the fact that the author apparently doesn't see why the statutory rape is not okay in her book. Like, there is this very long prologue, trigger warning that's like, if you can't handle the edge, don't read this book. And it's like, no, it's not necessarily that we can't handle the edge, but incest is not edgy. Like, I know that there are like places on the internet that you can go for this content and you can read this content, but owning it and pushing it just seems to me like a strange thing to do. So, considering the fact that I didn't read any of these books, I can't rate them on Goodreads. I'm not going to. I basically wimped out on all of that. I decided to look up a Goodreads list of a bunch of other books that have apparently been banned off of Kindle, and I was wanting to share them with you. So let's go ahead and do that, shall we? Let's get into it. I can't wait. So this list is called Banned on Amazon Kindle, and the first book is Nyla K's Double Edge. So you can only imagine how bad that had to be. We're just gonna react to some of these books. And I just wanna kind of see how chaotic these descriptions go. Because bear in mind, this one was also banned. All it had was clowns. To my knowledge, there is no incest in this. And the consent in this book is actually not terrible, like, to my knowledge. It's been a minute since I read it, but by and large, I still don't know why this was banned. So Double Edge still has 3.93 as a rating, wow. But let's go to the next one. So the next one is Azula, an extremely taboo novel. And it's described as, this book is only available on Seven Rue's website. And the description goes, being loved by a man was one of the best feelings in the world. But being loved by 5 at once was even better, no matter how effed up all that love was. Growing up at a trailer park always made me feel different, and the stares and laughs from people who thought my family and home were strange never bothered me. I was happy, but even the happiest people took things too far sometimes, ignoring their limits and not seeing all the red flags lighting up around them. My own happiness slowly broke me as I left those 5 men show me how much they adored me. I let them destroy me in the best possible way and ruin me intentionally and ruin me internally simultaneously. What? When I reached my lowest point and exhaustion took over my body, I didn't think there'd be a way back to the girl I was before. Never had I thought that the 5 men who ruined me would end up being the ones saving me. Trigger warning. This book includes incest. Meaning that the main character is related to the 5 men she has sex with, which are her dad, uncle, 2 brothers, and cousins. If you are open-minded and want to experience fiction differently, enjoy. Okay, this is why I have questions and concerns about these types of books. Because in the beginning of the synopsis, there is no clear warning that this book has incest. It just kind of goes on this little tangent about how I was happy, I lived in a trailer park, and then all of a sudden these 5 men ruined my life. Which, face value, that doesn't sound fun, typically speaking. But then at the end of the synopsis, you have the trigger warning, which, let's be real, I'm assuming that didn't work enough because this book has been technically banned. I don't know if it's banned right now. I didn't do any fact checking on this list. I just looked it up. I just don't quite understand why they market books like this way. Because if you are going to publish this, you might as well lead with this has blah, this has this, and then get it out of the way, and then let anyone who isn't turned off by that read the rest of the synopsis. Because reading the first bit of the synopsis, you may find this book just might have some like weird connotations around consent and group sex, but then at the end you're like, oh no, this book has literally every single male relative in this woman's life has sex with her. Wow. Okay, moving on. So we've got Sapphire, Scarlet Snow, Locksley Sage. I've been writing a smutty novel myself. Don't worry, there is absolutely no schmincest. But I love the idea of giving myself a fun erotica like author name. So if you can please drop a comment about what your favorite author like erotica names are, or like give me ideas, please let me know. I love that shit so much. All right, so Sapphire. I've spent my entire life pretending to be someone I'm not. Forced to hide in the slums of Tenebris from those who could enslave me, I carry the golden curse that's been passed through my family for generations. The affliction makes me the perfect breeder to carry the offspring of the kings of Imperia and their elite warriors. I've tried everything to avoid this fate until one careless mistake lands me in the hands of my enemy. Unfortunately for King Leonidas, my name is Sapphire Aurelian, and I'll make him regret the day he chose me as his breeder. All right, so the tags on this say reverse harem, dark fantasy, romance, paranormal, menage. I don't necessarily see why this one would potentially be banned, other than the fact that it seems like it's got an element of a breeding kink, which, yikes. This is just me opening up to the things that do not turn me on, so cool. All right, this one has a terrifying cover, so let's read about it. All right, so this is Sick Fucks, Tilly Cole. When Ellis Earnshaw and Heather James met as children, they couldn't have been more different. Ellis was loud and beautiful, all blonde hair, bright laughs and smiles. Heather was dark and brooding, obsessed with watching things die. Oh, okay. The pair forged an unlikely friendship, unique and strange, until they were ripped apart by the sick cruelty of others, separated for years, both locked in perpetual hell. 11 years later, Heathen... Oh, not Heather. I can't read. This guy's name is Heathen? Okay, 11 years later, Heathen is back for his girl. Back from a place from which he thought there was no return. Back to seek revenge on those who wronged them. Time has made Heathen's soul darker, polluted with hatred and the thirst for blood. Time has made Ellis a shell of her former self, a little girl lost in the vastness of her pain. As Heathen pulls Ellis out of her mental prison, reviving the essence of who she once was, down the rabbit hole they will go. With malice in their hearts and vengeance in their veins, they seek out the ones who hurt and destroyed them, one at a time, each more deadly than the last. Tick-tock. There is no explanation why this one was banned. I'm actually not gonna lie, I'm interested in this one. I don't know what I don't know. This one seems actually relatively interesting, considering the fact that this has the most fucked up cover. I am genuinely surprised. All right, let's take a look. Let's look at this one. Oh, this is another 7 Rue book. Okay, all right. This one's called Raw. I thought it said Ran. I'm blind. Oh no, we've got another trigger warning at the end of the synopsis. Let's read this. 3.24 stars. Vesper, when life feels like a fever dream, don't wake up. Fennec and I have been close our whole lives, but things haven't been the same ever since this summer. I realized things I never noticed, not only about myself, but about him as well. He's changed, or the way I saw him changed. Manipulative, sick, possessive, twisted. Words I would never have used to describe him until now. He slowly ruined me, made me see the worst in him, but as dark as the things between us became, I would never leave his side. I'm sorry, that doesn't give me any fucking information about the book at all. Almost seems intentional that they don't actually explain what is happening in the story. The warning says this is an extremely taboo standalone taking place in the wilderness of Alaska. What are we warning about? Triggering people who have fear of Alaska? This book contains dark themes, and if you dare to read, go in with an open mind. Trigger warnings include mental illness, abuse, knife play, blood play, bondage, water sports. I wonder what that means. Breath play, sexual scenes of a very taboo nature. This book is raw. They said the title. They said the title. Don't say you haven't been warned. My biggest thing is that I've been on the internet for a while. There are places that you can go to read stuff like this for free. So why do we have to always put this disclaimer at the end of the synopsis? Like, If people want to read this, they can read it. It's easy. It's available online. But you've got a bunch of warnings in your warning for things you're not actually warning about. Fascinating. Redneck by Jordan Silver. T-Bone Riley is a man of few words. Raised pretty much off the grid his whole life, he tends to see things a little different. Now that he's alone after the death of his dad, he's thinking it may be time to find him some company. Seeing as he's throwback to the old days when he sees the little filly's ass on the campus grounds, he doesn't think there's a damn thing wrong with nabbing her and taking her back to the farm to warm his bed and bear his children. Okay, I can kind of see why that one's bad. That one seems interesting. So we've got from the perspective of a kidnapper, and it's supposed to be a college romance. It has a 3.53 rating on Goodreads. I am interested to see what people say about this book. Okay, so the first line of the first review, they gave it 3 stars, bear in mind. I'm not even sure what to rate this one. It gets 5 stars for being hilarious. I died laughing at stuff in this book. The next review after that is a 1 star with pretty much everything blurred out except for this book is not a fucking romance. This one's called Trailer Park Virgin by Alexa Riley. It is a 3.39 rating. And the synopsis goes, Rick's been raising little Gracie for the past 5 years. She even calls him daddy. But recently things have started to change and that name has started to find a whole different feel to it. Ty's lived with Rick since he lost his parents in a car accident. Then Gracie came into their lives and the world seemed to light up, but the brotherly feelings he once had are now long forgotten as little Gracie has turned into a woman. Gracie doesn't know what to do with her feelings for Rick and Ty, the 2 men who once felt like a father and a brother to her. They've been her whole world since her mom skipped town, leaving her all alone in a trailer park. But something has to change. She wants them both and she'll have them one way or another. Okay, so this is more like grooming, romanticizing relationships where you've been like there the whole time they're growing up. That once again, I don't get. I don't quite understand that particular draw. It's fascinating to me to figure out, like, to see which books have been banned and which ones haven't. Because with this, I don't think they're actually related to the girl. And I know age gap, grooming, romanticization has been a like plethora of books in the kind of TikTok Kindle world. So this one, it may very well just be the title. Like, it could very well just be that, but yikes. Now, if anybody's coming at me in the comments for having read a shit ton of monster effing erotica and going, Maddie, why do you like this and you don't like these books? Mind your business is what I'm gonna say to that. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for this video. I know it's a little bit wimpy because I could not read the books that I had heard about. I could not do it. I would really rather have been reading this book with actual like clown stuff. But of course that's not what we did today. So if you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you want to support the channel, because I'm sure this shit's gonna get demonetized, my Patreon is linked down below. I hope you're having a lovely day. That's not my outro. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Bye!